Hello, my wonderful friends. Welcome back to TWG Fan Club, our weekly wrestling fan club. I get together with my crew. Hey, Matt. And we talk wrestling. And tonight we are celebrating one of my favorite people in wrestling, someone who's made me literally belly over cry laughing in wrestling, and that's R-Truth. Can we get an applause or something for him? So he came up a lot last week. I can't remember why, but he came up a lot, and we almost went on a whole tangent about funny R-Truth moments and why he is just a national treasure. So we decided to dedicate this week's fan club to R-Truth, who is in his 50s and still looks the exact same way he did when he first debuted, which is insane. I know him and The Miz lost their championships the other night. Hi, Letty. What's your favorite R-Truth moment? Yes. Hey, Dylan. Yeah, I think you did bring him up. I think we were talking about the international shows, and somehow R-Truth came up. So now we are going to honor him tonight. So all of our VIP, let us know some of your favorite R-Truth moments. What makes him just one of a kind, like, is it his fascination with John Cena? Was it his 24/7 championship run? Was it his tag team with Carmella, which I personally really loved? He also did a stint in TNA. He's a former NWA champion. So R-Truth, there's a lot to R-Truth that people probably don't even realize. So we'll get into all of that in a bit. But Matt brought up New York, and just how we are thriving. I want to shout out the WNBA. I know it's not wrestling related, but I am so proud of everything the WNBA is doing. They're breaking viewership records, ticket sales, people going to the venues, sponsorships. Like, it is huge. And as someone, shout out to my sis Krista B, we started Those Wrestling Girls because we loved that women in wrestling were getting put on a different pedestal. People were finally seeing them as equal superstars. And it's kind of interesting how it looks like WNBA was kind of last in that kind of women's evolution, because we've seen like Ronda Rousey break boundaries in MMA and the UFC. And basketball, it was like women's basketball was still that like little, I feel like it never got the recognition it deserved. I was with my dad earlier. He said this is the most women's basketball he's ever watched in his entire life this season. So I think that is huge. I want to shout out the New York Liberty, who is on a streak right now, and their mascot, Ellie. If you don't know who Ellie the elephant is, Big Ellie, please check it out because she's amazing. She's probably the best mascot ever. Justin, you know the vibes, right?
Dude, I'm a Liberty fan. I've been rocking with the Liberty since its inception, when they had Rebecca Lobo, Teresa Weatherspoon, and going against the Houston Comets for the inaugural title. Like, I've been banging with the WBA. Like, I'm glad people are catching up to, oh shit, the girls can actually hoop. Like, bro, yes. Like, if you're catching up now, damn, then you missed like the Diana Taurasi in her prime, Rebecca Lobo in her prime. The Comets had a fucking dynasty with Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops, and then the Sparks and Candace Parker eras. Like, y'all missed out on
Minnesota Lynx.
Y'all missed out on some great ass hooping. And I get it, because like when you see the NBA and see like, LeBron dunking over people and all that shit, it's like, how does that translate with the WNBA where we could get this shit? But it's like, yo, the women could hoop. There's a reason why when it comes to like the Olympics, they fucking dominate and no one comes close to U.S. basketball.
And let's call it for what it is we give a shout out to women. Monica McNutt said it best. They could have been
Mm-hmm.
doing this. And
Right.
that was always my argument when I was up at the four letter was you have this thing called ESPNW. You could have been saying, let's put the effort behind it. At that time, like you
Yeah.
brought up,
You
Justin,
could put a whole
uh,
machine behind that shit.
Maya Moore was killing on a basketball pool court. We
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't, no offense to her social
Hey,
justice work
Mike.
of her meeting her husband, that shouldn't be the only thing we know her about. Like, oh, it's just no, Maya Moore was dominant and they should have been pushing that. So I'm glad that they're getting the justice that they deserve.
Yeah, like Sue Bird, Becky Hammond, like you got a lot of great women. Like Diana Taurasi was the fucking Kobe Bryant of women's basketball.
Hmm.
I love that. It's so refreshing to
You know
see.
what
And
it
then
is though? Like right now, I think it's because now you get an influx of talent, but it's not just talent; it's personality. It's Angel Reese
right.
coming in talking shit. It's Caitlin Clark bombing away like Steph Curry. It's Sabrina Ionescu and all
I
them.
love
Like you have
her.
this new crop where it's like they're coming in with swag and confidence, but it's just like they're breaking through that barriers that kind of like the OGs couldn't do.
That's
Hmm.
I
so
guess it's
true.
also like as fan bases, we're ready for this now. Whereas like the masses weren't ready for like WNBA in the same level like the NBA. But now we kind of are.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But again, I've been
Yes. So
rocking with the
cool.
Liberty for like since its inception. So yes, I know Big Ellie.
Nice.
I follow her. I'm just like never changed, never
I
changed.
love
Whoever's under
her.
there never changed.
No, seriously, like it is amazing. Anytime there's a home game, I'm excited for Ellie content. I'm like, oh great, we're gonna see Ellie. They just did the Commissioner's Cup in the USB arena, I think it is. And her and that mascot just made some content together just from a marketing standpoint. What they've been able to do with Ellie, she got custom Jordans. Custom fits are made for a mascot. Like she has a pair of Jordans where only 50 exist, and they
Hmm.
sent it to a mascot. So that's how the hypeness around that is right now. And also, before we move on, I do have to note that the three women behind the New York Liberty are Black women. The
Mm-hmm.
CEO, the director of marketing, and the director of entertainment for the Barclays Center are all three Black women. So all the fun that people are having, you see on social media at Liberty Games, three Black women are responsible for that. So I definitely had to put that out there.
Hmm.
So we got some other news that I'm very curious to hear what you guys think about. And we'll bring up the rest of the crew if she's ready. I think so.
Slight delay.
I think she's ready.
Y'all got.
And there she goes.
I was supposed to bring myself up this time. I forgot. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Hey,
it's
we got everything
okay.
working.
So, how do you feel about the announcement about the partnership that WWE just announced with the arena in Indiana, or should I say stadium?
Stadium.
Stadium, yeah, it's huge. We already know that three of the big four are going to be in Indiana. We already know that. How do we feel about that?
It's gonna be interesting to see Rumble in an actual full out stadium. And Rumble will be the first one up. That'll be 2025. So they get the first crack at it. Because Rumble has been mostly in like baseball stadiums since well, with the exception of the one Rumble, I forget whatever year WrestleMania 33 was, where they ran Alamo Dome.
Hmm.
Well, that's twice because they
Mhm.
also ran back Alamo Dome. So this is
That's
gonna
a
be like
basketball arena.
well, it's a football
Right.
arena that they use for basketball, but they don't use it in current NFL. So this is like a full-on NFL stadium for a Rumble.
Hmm.
So there's going to be something different, and then a future WrestleMania and SummerSlam TBD, which is going to be very interesting. And I was saying this on the buckle, like it's interesting to see where WWE is now kind of going towards the Midwest with their stuff. Like you
Mm.
see Minnesota's getting a Mania, or
Tonight.
is it Mania SummerSlam? Now you see Indiana has this deal. You know how much they love Chicago, and I'm curious if some of this has to do with what's going on with sports in the country for the next couple of years. Like you got Copa America going on right now, to where they're occupying a lot of the NFL stadiums before football comes back, and then 2 years from now you got the World Cup that's going to be over here. So that's going to take away like New York, Philly,
Mm.
L.A. and all that. So maybe this is going to be the move where it's like, all right, the non-World Cup venues for the next year or two, we're going to stay away for those for the big four. So the Midwest, like that's why you see Cleveland's getting a lot of love for SummerSlam this year. Indiana's going to be there. Maybe they pop back over to New Orleans. Maybe if Atlanta doesn't have one of those games, they get it. Maybe we're going back to Texas at some point. Non Dallas though. So I think that's gonna be interesting moving forward for the next couple of years. Of like,
Mm.
all right, you guys are kind of going Midwest, but going away from the coast and the big cities.
Yeah.
Has anyone been to Indiana before?
Nah, but now,
I'm
like we talk
excited.
about all the time, that's the best thing about wrestling. It takes us to different cities.
Yeah,
Um, I wanted, I high key want to go to all the baseball stadiums, but it seems like wrestling has said, I got you on football.
yeah.
So it'll be pretty cool to see that. Um, and also shout out to Tyrese Halliburton, who's been making waves as far as becoming an NBA superstar. So it was just in like this Monday we saw he had a WWE shirt that said Tyrese 316. So I'll be interested to see what his
Nice.
involvement is. We saw Bianca Belair invite Caitlin Clark to be a part of the 2025 Royal Rumble. So that would be fun.
I also
That
think
would
it's
be
great
fun.
that they're going to cities in different territories. Like, shout out to everybody who's in the indie circuit with us, especially, Littlefoot, Lex. She's really made her waves in that area, Indiana, Kentucky, that little Midwest scene too. So there is an indie scene, there is a smaller wrestling scene. So
Hmm.
that also gives them that open window too to be like, now it's in our city. We can do what we did in Philly. We could do what happens in New Orleans. We can do in all the other cities that they always done and just have that weekend. Plus, from what I understand with Indianapolis, it's perfect. I mean, I witnessed their All-Star weekend and it looked like it did great. It did numbers for the city. It's the home of the NCAA. It's headquarters to the NCAA. So you talk about recruitment town. You talk about, hey, if you're not getting into the NCAA, if you're not getting into NCAA, what happens
Into
every single weekend?
NCAA.
You get a recruitment basically. So it's a lot of open window opportunity being in those towns. So I just think it's a smart power move, especially if they're going to put a WrestleMania there. You're already
Right.
familiar. If you don't go to SummerSlam, you're going to WrestleMania. If you don't go to Rumble, you're going to WrestleMania. So you already
Right.
know what you're getting into. And if you go to all three, then you're good.
I gotta
And
say,
WrestleMania.
no, I was just gonna say planning wise, because I need more time to plan sometimes, so I'm always like waiting for them to announce the city, and now it's like, all right, no, I'm gonna be in Indiana for this time, I'm gonna be in Indiana for that time, all good.
That's the best
Mm-hmm.
part, and I always said, like, you brought that up when we first got WrestleMania outside again. That was the best part because we knew for the next 3 years what
True.
cities we was gonna be in. And I'm interested also to see like WrestleMania 8 was there, and you know that was at the time the last stadium up until 17.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be very interesting to see. Obviously, it's not the Hoosier Dome no more, but it's just be very interesting to see how that city turns out. I know, shout out to Wells Mania, my homie over there. He been clamoring for WrestleMania to come back. Now they get it, and shout out to our brother Trey D. I wish he was here to see it. I've just, as soon as that announced, I just thought about
Mm.
him.
Yeah, I do want to mention, thank you, Matt. We lost a legend recently. Roman Reigns' father, Sika.
Mhm.
He was a part of the Wild Samoans, right?
That's
Yes.
right. I'm not
Yeah.
even in a tag team. We know the greatest tag
Stop,
team
that
of
was
all
so
time is the Wild
funny.
Samoans.
Yo, oh my God. Yes, rest in peace. Prayers up for the Anawai family.
Him on Young Rock, man.
I know, I feel like I know them. That's why it's like, oh, but just the legacy, what they brought, what they've done for the business cannot be like you can't even express how much influence he's had
Mhm.
on the industry. And then his brother, I know he's been in and out of the hospital as well.
Yeah.
So just prayers up for the entire family. Roman Reigns did tweet recently, just thanking everybody for the love and support that we've shown him and his family. So, rest in peace to a legend. So, real quick, because this is always a debate that Dylan has brought up, and what is the big four? Is there even a big four anymore? I know Survivor Series kind of lost its cachet over the years because it wasn't the traditional Survivor Series that people were used to, but now we've got War Games, so it now has a
Mhm.
bit more. Do you guys consider that the big four?
I will always consider the big four. Nobody's gonna tell me nothing different ever
It's
again. And the reason is simply is because it's the classics. It's what we. It was what the foundation of WWE was built on. You can't. Survivor Series is the second pay per view ever. So will it maybe return to a point of stadium shows? Maybe not. But I do like the war games aspect of it because the whole traditional 4-on-4 was dead when they started giving us 6-man tag matches each and every week. When we wasn't getting those 6-man tag matches, it was fine because back in the day, when you got a 6-man tag match, let's say you got Bret Hart, Diesel, and Undertaker on the same team, that was a big deal on Monday Night Raw. Now it's every other week to preserve talent, especially you got all these house shows and we got more information. But it's always, I know Money in the Bank is thrown in there. I think our generation is pushing Money in the Bank, especially because when you think about all of the pay-per-views that came after, say, 2011, 2010, the names, we've kind of like gotten rid of some, right? We gotten rid of Hell in the Cell. Money in the Bank and Elimination Chamber is the ones that kind of stick around. So yeah, the four, it's always gonna be the big four. And to me personally, it's always WrestleMania, Summer Rumble, or Royal Slam. Like those are equal to me, and then Survivor Series.
I mean,
I
it
hear
has
you
to.
on history and nostalgia, but I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Brian, only because while Survivor Series has been like that fourth one for a long time, the importance of Money in the Bank has taken that over full force. Because not only do you have the entire pay per view dedicated to the briefcase, you also have so many memorable moments because you've had cash ins on that same pay per view. It's supplanted Survivor Series very easily because Survivor Series, when was the last time Survivor Series really meant something? When it was NXT versus Raw versus SmackDown.
When Sammy ruined our bloodline.
Right.
But then, all right, that was War Games, and that was one match, not an entire pay per view. So you got to go back to the brand supremacy that 1 year, and then once you go past that, you struggle because remember once they brought back the draft, now all of a sudden you have the draft thing and people changing brands a little bit
Wait,
closer to Survivor Series and stuff like that. Versus Money in the Bank has always been right between Mania and SummerSlam. You have that importance of the briefcase of like, yo, all right, someone's getting this briefcase. We don't know if they're cashing in tonight or they're cashing in next week and stuff like that. And you have all these memorable moments to where Money in the Bank means a lot more right now as an overall pay per view compared to Survivor Series, where it's like, yeah, the War Games helps give it some juice, but it's still lacking in that area where it's kind of like you are historically the fourth in the big four, but you kind of got pushed out and supplanted.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Justin, and I kind of have to derive from what Brian's saying. If you think about the original, and we're talking OG Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania, it was the culmination of what it was supposed to do, and that is reset the game.
Mm.
WrestleMania is always the new is the final and the new of whatever year we're going to have in WWE, right? So when you think of Money in the Bank, I think of that restart. I think of who's next up. It makes it more exciting at WrestleMania, but also you can't take away from Survivor Series because I'm gonna have to hold you. My favorite Survivor Series is the one where we didn't know if come Monday we was gonna have a Alliance Monday Night Raw or WWE Monday Night Raw. It's always been something monumental with Survivor Series. It's never been anything dull. And I understand like they just tried to implement War Games because they saw that War Games was popular in NXT and they took it away from
Definitely
NXT and put
started
it
from
there.
NXT.
So I get why they're trying to implement war games, but when you look at all the history of every single Survivor Series, it's always meant something. It's not just for nothing. I think that with Money in the Bank, the nostalgia and the excitement will return if they definitely decided, you know what, we're not going to do the pay per view. One night can be women, one night can be men. That way, you still hold on to the excitement of somebody might cash in, somebody might wait. There's still me a shot factor, and now that you have SummerSlam for 2 nights, that can go on to SummerSlam too. It's for a full year, right? So I think that it's much easier, I think, in their eyes to get rid of Money in the Bank
Oh, wow.
than it is for them
As
to
a
get
pay
rid
per
of
view,
Survivor
or you
Series.
think it's
Yeah.
just
I think
match?
it's much easier.
I agree. I've been
Because look at
saying
where they're
this for
putting
the
Wow.
it.
past 5 years.
Why? Because
Wait,
why are they
so
putting your big four in these huge stadiums when Money in the Bank gets like this? And no disrespect to Canada, love you, or Canada, but why are you putting in a Scots? Why are you putting it in Scots Bank Arena? You've lived in Scots Bank Arena the same way you've treated Survivor Series by putting it in that All State Arena. I get it, the nostalgia, but do you really need it to be in an arena, two events, when that's something you could do night one, night two? It's cumulated.
Remember, they
You
had to
literally
downsize Money in the Bank in 2022. It was supposed
right.
to be an arena, and they were supposed to be in the stadium in Vegas, and they put it in an arena.
And
Mhm.
so
even when you look at the sales right now, no shade, no tea, not doing the same numbers that Survivor Series would do. And they just implemented Heat Wave and gave you a Friday Night SmackDown, and you're still not pulling the same numbers.
my sister says it all the time that it's like these two match specialty matches, and then it's just like these random matches around it. Like she doesn't think it works, and I would say she's more of a casual fan, so it's very interesting that she says that. I mean, I feel like it could go either way now. I think the fun thing is that recently every pay per view has felt big. So
Hmm.
I think that's a plus. I think you can't get away from Mania. I think also it's telling like which shows were a part of the partnership too. They
Hmm.
didn't include a Survivor Series in that. They didn't include anything else in that. It was Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam.
Yep.
Because
We
can
don't.
they really hold the venue space to host that pay per view? I don't think
Right,
so anymore.
right. They need some refreshing stories.
I
Shout out
wouldn't
to
be
Chelsea
surprised.
Green. I'm gonna need her to win.
I would not be surprised, and this is me holding on to it. You don't hear that. You don't start hearing Survivor Series is gonna be in one of these foreign countries because they might just treat it that way. Whatever the agreement they have with other foreign countries, wouldn't be surprised next year if that returns to the if that goes to the UK because it did well in the O2 Arena Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Why not give the Survivor Series?
Nah, I disagree with that. I like having the big four. You have to come to the States, and everything else you go international, especially where
Mm,
you
But they
have the
did
two
away with
Saudi
that.
shows. Yeah, but you gotta look at it like this. Like they already have two Saudi shows, and then you have like what another 4 or 5 PLEs already that are non Big Four. So you want to take
That do
away another
better.
PLE from the States and put it
Yeah,
international?
like, if it does better in numbers, yeah, I'm sorry. Like we talk about it, we spoiled the Roth and spoiled the child enough. I would not be surprised if they're like, you know what? I think France will pop at Survivor Series. Let's just throw the
Mm,
ball to the wind and throw it in France. Why not? I
that's true.
understand it's a Thanksgiving tradition, like Global Hold, they take away our Thanksgiving uh tradition. God forbid you jump on a plane on Black Friday to get to. We get it, we get it, but it would not be fun
I think that's
putting
why
the
it
world
stays
back in
though, just for
WWE,
that
baby.
reason.
hmm.
I think that's why it stays, just because of the Thanksgiving aspect of it all for the
Mm-hmm.
families, unless they move it on the calendar. But
Yeah,
And you can't blame
and
the bad sales on
I
like
mean
the
they
US.
moved
The
Royal
bad
Rumble,
sales is really because Survivor Series has need an overhaul. Like what are the stakes to Survivor Series outside of a fucking War Games? And it took a
right?
minute
But
for you to finally bring War Games. Like that's the problem of why Money in the Bank's to playing a Survivor Series lately as the big four. There are actual stakes with Money in the Bank. You have this briefcase. You can cash in at any time on any title. Survivor Series does not have stakes. What's the point of a 5-on-5 if it doesn't lead to anything? Whether
and I
it's
get
Rumble
that,
stakes, whether it's a title match, whether whoever survives on a team, like you know what I'm saying, like there's got to be more stakes other than just the War Games, and even the War Games. Like, all right, someone wins, but then what are the stakes going from that? I think that's what leads to the lack of like the interest come around this time for like
and
in the states.
and I get that. That's fine, but also we're talking about trying to build excitement for the next. What did they already plan? They already planned one WrestleMania. They're about to plan another one in Vegas. If they want to, if that creative team decides, listen, it's not exciting anymore. This might be our last one. What do we do? And they say, let's nix it. Because we said the same thing about Hell in a Cell. We used to love us a Hell in a Cell, child. When the last time you heard about a Hell in a Cell pay per view coming back? Bad Blood is coming back before Hell in a Cell.
No, we've been saying get rid of Hell in a Cell. The only reason I'm defending Survivor Series this
That should
hard
not be
is
a
because
pay-per-view.
this is going to be the only chance DC gets a premium live event again, and Siendo's trying to snatch that shit away from me.
Well, how do you know it's going to be in DC? They might
Because-
fuck with us and say it's in New Orleans. Let's
because
be
it's
real.
literally
Trying to keep
because
it warm.
Survivor Series has been in an arena, and that's the only time DC can really host something like this. Like Rumble, we can't do Rumble, we can't
give
do
it Atlanta.
Mania. SummerSlam, it was really SummerSlam or Survivor Series, and our stadium is shitty, which leads us Survivor Series, and you're like, nope, we're gonna yank that too. Go overseas.
That's not what I'm trying.
Damn.
I get what you're saying. If it's gonna love with DC,
We're never,
and Baltimore-
we're never gonna agree on this because it depends on when you came into wrestling too. Like
Mhm.
you got Brian, who is a nostalgia freak, and then you got you know, like Justin's thinking about like, okay, like how is what the other pay-per-views do, which goes to Seindole point. So I don't know if there's a big 4 anymore. I don't know if there's a big 5 or a big 3. Who knows? Yeah, DC.
Oh, there's definitely a
DC was
big
cool.
3.
I enjoyed going to SmackDown in DC. I don't know. I've never been to a pay-per-view in DC. I don't think.
I ain't missing nothing.
Ooh,
Damn.
Oh, look
Nah,
at you!
Mike, I
You put new drapes in that shit home in Baltimore. All of a sudden, you talking shit.
Wow.
I see you.
Look who's
We have
turning
Daniel Bryan.
You renovate the house. You got new couches and stuff like that. Now all of a sudden, you puff out the chest. Baltimore.
Oh man. So how about we take a quick break?
It's all love, Brian. I'm just jealous because you guys have had multiple pay-per-views since we got our last one.
That's true.
Nah, that sounds like a jab, bro. At Baltimore.
I did. I'm jealous. It's like, fuck. Instead of driving an hour, I like to go like 15 minutes. It'll be nice for once.
Too bad, too sad.
So let's take a quick break and then we'll get into our Truth Appreciation Night.
You know it.
Yep.
Let's do
no.
it. It's here. Besides the Zelina Vega photo, what has been your favorite photo that you have captured?
My favorite photo that I've captured besides the Zelina Vega, Liv Morgan. I capture her like. I have people I've always aimed to get a good photo for. Like you can tell who are my favorite people. Like I love shooting. Liv Morgan always brings it. She's such a big energy when she comes out. Bianca's a star. Like my favorite photo this year has been my big 3 photo with Bianca, Jade, and Naomi. I wasn't close to the ring, but I asked someone. I was like, please, can I just get a photo of these 3 women? And I love that photo because I'm Puerto Rican and Black, and to be there for those 3, I was there for Bianca and Sasha, and now Bianca, Jade, and Naomi. It's just reputation matters. Like I tell people all the time, like it matters. There can be a little young girl in the audience who sees someone just like us and be like, that's what I want to do.
That was a dope interview.
I know. I loved her. I loved meeting her in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Such a beautiful soul.
Oh, P, you muted.
Yeah, boo. Can't hear you, boo.
You muted. There you go.
No, I love her. She's a sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
I love her too.
Sidebar
Go check
before
out
we
that
start.
interview.
Sidebar before we start, I am not turning on Canada. I still quite love Canada, but they're just right and they're just wrong. So I'm not turning heel. Okay?
You do love Canada. You've always been a Canada.
Everybody knows. We're trying to import P for like one night once we get.
I know. I need to make it to Canada one of these days.
But let's get started to talk about our truth. Not turning heel. Full disclaimer.
Dylan did make a good point about it being global, and WrestleMania hasn't been outside of the States in a while. Selfishly, I can wait a couple years for Mania to be in the UK. So let's get into our truth, because I have found some really interesting trivia about him that I cannot wait to get into at some point during the show, because it is so funny.
Trivia.
I failed already. Girl, bye.
Yes. So why what makes R-Truth so memorable? Like, why? Like, when's the first time you saw him? Like, did you know him in TNA? Did you know him when he first debuted in WWE? What was y'all first impression of R-Truth?
Um, K-KWIK. I was a DX fan, and the New Age Outlaws had just split. But I remember, they kind of went and did their own thing, right? You had the one Billy Gunn was like, "What the hell is this?" And then you had like Road Dogg trying to figure stuff out, and that's when
The drugs.
we, huh? Yeah.
Sorry, never
So,
mind.
We
so that's where he
for sure.
brings in this guy.
Okay.
We bring in K-KWIK who's rapping. And like K-KWIK we did a video game episode almost a year ago at this point. K-KWIK got in there just in time to be on WWF SmackDown 2, Know Your Role. And um, it was like, okay, this guy's cool. Fun fact: my older god brother, was studying sports management in Towson University for a little bit. And the first thing he told me, he's like, K-KWIK, right? Well, his agent graduated from Towson. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool because that was a career path I was actually considering. But that was my first memory of him, seeing him, and I thought, okay, he could dance, he was cool. He kind of made Road Dogg cooler for some reason, especially the fact that he was rapping. Because I remember the roadie, and I didn't want to see him try to go back to none of that stuff. Like, no, Road Dogg had to be cool. He had to be cutting promos, and K-KWIK was the person who could help do that.
See, I don't remember. Like, I remember K-KWIK, but I don't remember. I do remember it being super cringy though, because Road. I don't even know if it was at that time, but just like Road Dogg just acting the way he was acting, like it was just now it's a little
You're not
cringy
the
to
only
look
one.
back on.
That's like list part number 15 for me of why I can't look back at some of the things from those eras the same, because I too thought that was cringy. Mind you, I liked K-KWIK. I actually liked him. He had like the style. He had like the hood Jersey style to me. I don't know what it is. I think it was like the like back when you grew up in Jersey, it was like the guys that not be on the corner, but the guys you knew that were always at the corner store chilling, making sure the kids cross the street safely and stuff. They had the braided hair and the wife beater, and they passed it and sag, but they sagged just a little bit with the belt around it. So he just reminded me of like the guys that used to be like, "Hey, don't talk to that girl," when guys would honk at me when I go to the corner store to get ice pop. So he was comfortable for me. But yeah, now that I look back at it, I'm like, yeah, because this stuff is kind of cringe, which is why I enjoyed him in TNA a little bit more, because he didn't go through that stuff in TNA. So I enjoyed that era of his career. And he had a lot of opportunities in TNA too, like a lot. He was very much heavy. It was more when he got more exposed there than in his first run, in that first run in WWE, that I was already adapting him when he became R-Truth. So
Seindole, you're jumping the shark.
I
Hey,
know.
Rikarsha.
So
Well,
for
she's
me,
talking about first exposure, so I don't know.
I vaguely remember K-KWIK because that was during
Oh.
Attitude Era, and obviously, you got Stone Cold, Rock, Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, Hardys, and like How Loaded, and then like K-KWIK was there. It's kind of like, oh shit. So like I remember doing a rewatch of like Rumble 2001 and forgetting he was in that. I was like, wait, are you dead ass? That's R-Truth. And then with Road Dogg rapping, you gotta remember, like, was it early 2000s? That's still like Limp Bizkit's still popular, Kid Rock is still popular, so it kind of matched. Even though now it's like wild cringe, but it's like, hey, we kind of like the shit in real time. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, when I really got into R-Truth was when I got back into wrestling, post WrestleMania 30, and seeing like the comedy stuff of R-Truth, and really when it really took off with like the mixed match challenge stuff with like Carmella. Like that's when like Truth really took off for me, because I was at first I was
Same.
like, all right, he's funny, but where is this going? But I think him and Carmella really shined as like an on-screen pairing that I didn't know I needed until I got it, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? This is actually entertaining as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Him and Carmella and him and Lil Jimmy, because we can't forget about Lil Jimmy. I can't wait to talk about Lil Jimmy, because that was my homie. I had a shirt. Couldn't find
Yo,
it.
so did wait, Brian. You
I
gotta talk about your little Jimmy
There's
shirt.
merch.
Yeah.
Yes. What?
What?
He was like at one point top 5. Like Lil Jimmy was selling.
And I'm so mad.
I got mine from an MSG house show around the time that him and Kofi Kingston were the tag team champions, and
I,
he did that at the house show. And like at one point, he had to run into the crowd, and it was like stage right next to me near the floor because I was like 2 rows down from the ringside seats, and he ran into the crowd. And then he like pretended to push little Jimmy back out, and you had Kofi Kingston just shaking his head like, "What are you doing?" And then you could hear him say, "Little Jimmy almost ran off. You didn't see?" I was like, "Yo, this guy." I was like, "This guy can God bless him. He can do no
the
wrong."
thing
To me.
is, he was a heel.
Right?
You know, he
I can't
was.
even imagine R-Truth as a heel.
Can
Oh,
you? And then think about the fact that Lil Jimmy was a little white boy dressed like John Cena.
that's what we were supposed to assume.
Oh my god, that is so funny.
But I just
Hold
caught
on,
on to it in my old age.
yeah, like that was the whole thing. Hold on, I'm almost there. There's so much going on today. But because it's actually more to his heel run. Sorry, but yeah, I remember. I got this. I ordered that one because I was like, you know what, I gotta have a little Jimmy shirt, and I would wear it to school, and then that was at the time I was actually taking like an acting class, so it just kind of helped just because for some reason it put me in that mindset of what we was learning, like staging and moving around, because at that time our truth as a heel, he was cutting some of his best promos.
Right.
And because the whole thing is like he was challenging Cena for the championship, and it was kind of the reason why we don't talk about it as much now, because it literally leads into CM Punk doing the pipe bomb.
Right.
But there's the shirt that you can get a full glimpse of it, Justin. And then you also see like this is when he was smoking a cigarette, because this is like straight doing his heel run, and he was like the opposite. Everything that was John Cena, R-Truth's role was to be the opposite of it.
Oh wow!
And he was
So that makes his gimmick now with John Cena being his hero even funnier,
right?
And remember, he would be like, because little Jimmy did that, and it was like, sorry, number 26. They would say, but little Jimmy gets to eat all the food, and little Jimmy, that's like the like to see him flip into this baby face, it's like one of the best things ever.
Wow.
Yeah, like I knew Little Jimmy was big. Shout out to the WE24 special that they did on R-Truth, where I actually learned a lot. Like I didn't know like he was rapping with Pac back in the day, and it goes all the way back to that. And that's how I learned about his time in TNA, and just like, dude, like true stories have stories. So to cut that into like a 24 special, I think that's still one of my favorite. I always say this, like WWE does excellent fucking work on the documentaries. 24 they do fantastic work, but R-Truth is like really really good. Where I went from, all right, I'm gonna give this a chance, and by the end of this, I'm like, holy shit. Like I get it, but then I'm also like, yo, I'm invested, because to go from where he went, and I can relate to that as someone that also grew up in like, you know, projects of the Bronx and whatnot. So for him to go from that and turn it around into wrestling, and then the come up, like, bro. But that special put me onto a lot of stuff, and Lil Jimmy was definitely one of them.
I can imagine Little Jimmy being hilarious, and also
like ever since that live show, and this was like I think this was the live show right after they won the titles, and he ran into the crowd to get Lil Jimmy. I was like, did I just like become a fan?
Yes.
Like what
That's
is like
hilarious.
this? Like, I understand it's a house show gold is one thing when you hug at a fan. It's another thing when you're in full on kayfabe and you're serious about it. And then they put on a banger of a match, by the way. They put on a good ass match. A good house.
That's
match.
the thing. He can go in the ring.
Yeah. But it was just like that. You add that to that. Like it's almost like how can you forget about R-Truth? You can't. It's impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a phenomenal body and he keeps in great shape. Pause. Like, drop the workout routine, because dude, to be in your 50s looking like in your 20s,
drop that skin routine.
like bro,
Hello.
how?
I don't see
And
1-4 on your face, sir.
and he almost died, unfortunately. He spoke in depth with Peter Rosenberg about, his sickness he had. And I believe it was, you know, I'm not sure the exact injury, but it was, something, I don't want to say routine, but you think about like it was like a limb or something, but it almost like the bacteria got like in his bloodstream and almost took him out of here.
Yeah.
And he was getting emotional just thinking about that. You look at him, he's always like you always know like he's a good father. You always see like great things about him. I know my interaction with him this year was great. And then somebody was like, they was rapping and they like this person who was like in the audience, you could tell like R-Truth meant a lot to them. And he started like rapping with them, and then like the guy was rapping. He's like, "No, just hear me out, Truth." And he's rapping, and Truth is like going back and forth. And it was just like when you see wrestlers have those type of moments with their fans, it's amazing. Like Becky Lynch is like probably one of the best people at that.
Yeah.
I think you was there, Justin, when she came out when the girl was crying. When or maybe I'm sorry, you was at the other one, but this girl was crying, and this is night after morning after she loses the title. But she saw the girl that was so happy to see her. She just gave her this hug. It was like, okay, the character stuff don't matter. Like I owe it to this person.
Oh, I
I
love
don't know. I've
Becky.
been ringside for a Becky match before and seen how she interacts with like fans and stuff like that. Like me and her had like a banter for like a good minute.
Aww. No, she's great with her fans.
She is. She's real sweet. She's like, "What the hell you cheering for Bianca for?" I was like, "Yo, do you not see the shirt? I like you. I like her too." Then we got into it.
She would say that. She definitely would say that. I'm glad you mentioned his work in the ring, because I think we talk a lot about how funny he is, his tag teams, his personas, but athletically, it is like when I see some of the stuff that he does, like when he does that jump split shit that he do,
Yeah,
I'll be like, oh my god, is he gonna be okay?
and be hopping though.
Like he
He does this move. I'm like my groin.
Listen, his song said, "I'm about to move some things," so he moved some things. He did a split.
Oh my god.
Move some things. You ain't hear that song? Come on, we just talked about the the Unforceable Entry album. Forcible Entry.
That's
I've heard the song. I'm imagining I'm moving some things and I'm gonna do the splits, and it's like, how do you not ruin your
That's the name
things?
of the song. It's called "Quick." I'm about to move some things. I'm gonna find it because
thank you,
like,
Matt.
that whole album.
No, I believe you. It's the image of like him jumping. Yeah, remember he jumps up to do the splits, and it's like, bro, we have things down there. How are you not injuring yourself every time?
Oh my god, it is so wild.
Hop. When you hip and hopping, listen, ain't no stopping. I'm just saying.
Seindole.
I see what you did there. Clever gal.
Wait, can I just say that we do watch AEW Dynamite as a family in the fan club? So hook up your other device, turn out we tried to.
I have to because it's Forbidden Door season. I'm excited about Forbidden Door. So
kicking it off with MJF.
Oh no, never mind. Continue.
I'll let y'all keep you posted on Mercedes Watch because the draft is going on tonight.
Oh yeah. There's a lot going on tonight.
Busy night.
This is one of those summers where you have a lot of things going on at once.
I love that for us. Let's get into him and Carmella.
Yes.
Because I think that's what really stands out in a lot of people's minds. And I really love those kind of stories in WWE where like this was not planned. Like him and Carmella was not planned. It was supposed to be a one-off segment because that's when R-Truth was kind of messing with everyone. And it just worked. What worked about it? What do you guys remember most about their tag team? Did you guys watch Mixed Match Challenge? I want to know what you guys think.
I enjoyed it. I thought they were just like magic on television. You know what I mean? Carmella is always to me somebody who's just very funny, very charismatic. She's somebody who I will say can go in the ring. But everybody don't need to be a quote unquote ring technician. Just tell a story. And when it comes to her, that's what she does. She can go out there, she can tell a story, but then she can entertain you. And I just felt like out of all the people with R-Truth, that bond was like they kind of like mirrored each other.
I agree.
So
And
for
another,
me, I would say they have natural chemistry with each other. Like you see it in like their on screen stuff where it's like they just click. They almost feed off each other. You know, whether it's a promo or even like you brought up Mismatch Challenge. By the way, WWE, bring that back for the love
I
of God.
love
Mismatch
that
Challenge was
so
so
much.
effing good. And when I think Mismatch Challenge, like they are the premier couple that I think of, and they're not even a couple. They just rock with each other so good. The dance break, like remember when Dad was like first started to take off, and then that became like a big ass thing.
That was and it was so cute in the at the shows. Like the little
Mm-hmm.
kids would look forward to it. Like it was really cool. Like, and I remember because everybody's so cool on Twitter would start complaining about it. And this isn't wrestling and da da da. Da. But like that is also needed in it. That comic relief, that pause.
Yeah.
Like at the first Women's Royal Rumble, when her that wasn't Rumble, but that was Evolution.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
her and Ivory had a moment. Like I just thought it was so cool. Like they was such a good pair.
And it's good for her too. I think it was great that he was the addition to kind of smooth these over. Because if you don't remember, around the time that they did become a mixed tag team and started doing the gimmick, a certain someone that used to be in a fraction with her started running his mouth and saying that, oh, she took the gimmick from me and I taught her everything and blah blah. And they
Oh
didn't pay attention to it. But what they
yeah.
did do was that they put them in a pair to expose her more, and they made it fun because she still got to go back to being, the girl from Staten Island and all that stuff. And whether it was real or not, she did a good job. I think she did a good job with the gimmick because the girls I know and live in Staten Island and shit, that's what they act like. But to contraire, it was good for her to step her out of her comfort zone and to also keep her in the state that she knows. Because I think she stepped out a lot more when she was with R-Truth. Maybe it's just me, but I think she shined out a little bit more past the Money in the Bank win and all that stuff. I think she shined a lot more with him too, because it showed that
I
she had
agree.
chemistry with everybody.
Yeah, I
She had
agree.
chemistry
And
no matter what.
I think too, like to know she had been a heel up until that point, and then her tag team with R-Truth made her a baby face.
Hmm.
So she got to then have fun and have kids, love her and stuff like that. And now she's gotten to the point, in my opinion, and you guys could tell me if you agree or not, where she's kind of a tweener because her character has a lot of attitude, but we've all grown to love and respect Carmella at this point. We think she's funny and entertaining. So we don't really boo her, but we react to her how we should. But I think this run with R-Truth is what made people, like you said, Seindole, like really show that she really has everything it takes to be a WWE superstar.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definite.
And R-Truth, I think, can elevate anyone. I think that's why this last run that he's been doing, they've been having him mix it up with the different factions. They've been having him, like whether it's the Judgment Day or what's the other tag team with Johnny Gargano and
Oh,
Oh,
DIY.
DIY.
Yeah.
DIY. Yeah,
Triple
yes.
H, Shawn Michaels.
Oh my god! I think one of the funniest moments for me, and I think this is how him and Carmella even became an on-screen thing, was Carmella was looking for a mat. Like R-Truth was looking for Carmella, and then kept going to all the other blonde women and other like,
Yeah.
hey Carmella, like, and then even Maurice was like, I am not Carmella. I always find that really, really funny when he gets people mixed up. Or when he brought a ladder to Royal Rumble, I think it was.
Yeah, 2016.
Oh my
2016.
god,
They're
that
like,
was
what the fuck is he doing?
so
He thinks it's a
funny.
ladder match.
Oh my god, that's so funny. He also broke. I think he also breaks the most wrestlers too. Like he broke Paul Heyman a few times. He broke Brock Lesnar
Brock
once.
He
Lesnar.
somehow broke Brock Lesnar at a
Hey.
time where Brock did not show emotion. And I will say this. I think R-Truth is the person that unlocked Brock Lesnar to where Cowboy
Unlocked.
Glizzy Brock, I think we
Yo,
get him because of R-Truth, and R-Truth
hey,
brought that out.
Did you
I
I didn't
say
know
swear to
that's
God.
possible.
Glizzy Brock?
Yes, you don't
Yes.
listen, you don't understand because he started doing that and then he started showing up in the cowboy outfit and answering, doing
True,
these
true,
skits in the
true.
drive-through and shit. I was like, wait, like we're not supposed to like you, and now I like you again because you showed up in Nashville talking about something. I'm gonna be the guy to whoop your ass, even though we know that was a squash. But to each his own. He kind of did, especially that's why I think a lot of people are obsessed with the stuff with Judgment Day, because they're supposed to be this dominant force, and here you come. Nobody's supposed to touch him. Nobody's supposed to walk into their shit, and here you are on the couch ruining it with your powdered ass beignets and all that stuff, and your great character, and selling their merch and giving them money. And we're supposed to take them, like, mind you, we're supposed to take them all too seriously, and now we can and can't at the same time because of
Yes.
him.
That
Because
was
of him.
really, really
You're
funny.
not even in Judgment Day.
Yo, when he interrupted that women's Royal Rumble, I was dying. I was like, and he appears like,
That was so funny. Oh my god.
raising Adam Pearce's blood pressure for God knows what.
Yo, every week, poor Miz getting put into these matches. He's like, "What are you doing, Truth?" Did y'all remember their first run as a tag team?
Yeah, I want to get into Awesome Truth a little bit.
Let's do it.
Let's be real. They kind of housed everybody when they were Awesome Truth. They really did. Like, enough for you to cause some disruption and have people walking out on the CO. They kind of housed Triple H at the end of the day. And I know it was meant to be an angle. I'm familiar with that side of R-Truth because of what happened when he was in TNA. And the culmination of how, people call him, I think, the Truth at that time. I couldn't quite remember, because he really did give that promo. Yes, like, he gave that promo saying, "Listen, y'all hold me back, and I'm gonna say it's because of the R word, but that's what exactly. Y'all know I have the capability to be a champion, and y'all don't want it. Y'all don't want it because of that." And that's when I remember it so vividly. But then I look at that moment of him literally winning that NWA title for the first time, and I'm like,
never thought we would see.
They said, "You think that's what?" Okay, bet. They gave him the title, and it was one of his best stories to date, especially his mix up with Jeff Jarrett. He always mixed up with Jeff Jarrett somehow. I just thought about that too, which is says much merit to Jeff Jarrett, because Jeff Jarrett's always spoke about that. He doesn't care about that. He cares about the talent and the opportunity, and that just shows it.
Yeah, I mean, coming raised by his grandmother.
Yep.
R-Truth?
Jeff Jarrett.
Just Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett. Oh, right.
Yeah. Having that history. But I think you got to also look back when you talk about Awesome Truth. When The Rock came back in 2011, and they had that match at Survivor Series, him and John Cena, they went against Miz and R-Truth, and that just goes to show you that trust factor. You don't just throw anybody in the ring. It's like Mello being there for Cody Rhodes when Cody Rhodes came back. It was Mello who he trained with. At that time, shouts out to the B teams, Curtis Axel. He was the person who kind of helped train R-Truth. I mean, The Rock. But to give him a match, and also you brought up Ron Killers real quick. I was looking over just his history, just like all those tag team titles he's won. With Road Dogg and Conan and the NWA World titles.
Wow.
Adam Pac-Man Jones, former NFL player.
Wow.
Pac-Man
got a title?
That is
TNA.
I forgot about that.
Fuck.
I forgot about that.
Jesus, TNA.
And then when him and Kofi Kingston won, that was a moment, because that was the first time we had a black tag team champion, not like Booker T winning with Goldust, you know what I mean? But both of the guys was black since Men on a Mission, And
that was the first time.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's just to show you how long I've known this person. I remember Dr. D bringing this up on the Facebook group about how, like, wow, history was made. You think Men on a Mission, when they won tag team titles, we're talking like 94, and it was very brief. So when Kofi and R-Truth won, it was like, oh snap, finally. And then for R-Truth to just culminate Awesome Truth at WrestleMania, his first WrestleMania win, it was one of those things where you knew it was coming. It kind of was like, it better come. But when it happened, it was like, wow, this is amazing, especially considering all that he had been through.
True. let's get more into him in TNA, because I see Mike, you commented that that was something else. He did win the NWA championship there as well. Um, Brian, do you remember him in TNA?
I wasn't watching. We're talking the 999 days, if I'm not mistaken, when he was the champion.
The
So you was
network?
nah, like every
Oh,
week it came on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Wednesdays. When I remember it on Wednesdays.
Okay, yeah, you had to
Yeah.
pay 999, and this was
Oh.
like at the time
Did on the first day. What you gonna do for big mama for real? What do
WCW had been dead for about
I get for my birthday? What do I get for my birthday?
Sorry.
Uncle Howdy, is that you?
yeah, WCW had been dead for about a year and a half or a year now, and you would turn on and you was like, oh, what's this advertisement, and sure enough it was TNA wrestling, and there I saw R-Truth with the title, and I was like, Brian, like I'm thinking K-KWIK over there, and then you go get the magazine. So I didn't watch it live, but I was happy when he came back to WWE that he was going by the name R-Truth, because all you kept hearing was Ron the Truth Killings.
Kind of like that.
I like our
Is it
truth
one
better
of
than
those?
K-KWIK.
Me too. Was it one of those things where he had to go to TNA to come back and be a big star, or like how do you? Because I know we might have did a fan club on this before, but how do you think his TNA run fits in his legacy? Like, is he a WWE guy? Like, did he need to do that? Like, how do you guys see
Well,
that?
I remember when we were doing our TNA appreciation night that I did say that TNA was more of the either you grew your opportunity there, you made it your house, or you brushed up on things you didn't know from WWE because of the amount of
Mm.
people who were in WWE and then went there, did amazing things, and then came back to WWE. Like we talked a lot about, we gave Drew their flowers, they made AJ Styles. So one of the interesting things about our truth was that in his early age, like I mentioned before, could he have gotten more of the chances that he got to be in a tag team, to partner with somebody like Conan, to be a tag team and be the NWA champion? Not really, but in that company he did, because it was given more of an opportunity to him because they saw work. They didn't see gimmicks, they didn't see clothing, they didn't see color, they just saw work. And that's what kind of made TNA different back then, which is why I enjoy it, because it wasn't just about, nobody was coming out to the ring in a flashy outfit and a bird suit. No, it was just wrestling. And you were excited to see wrestling. And he got to flourish in that because
True.
at the end of the day, he's a wrestler. Like
Right.
we loved him as a K-KWIK in the rapping, but I like what he was doing in the ring. And then he kind of got the best of both worlds when they had three what was it, three live crew. I always fuck it up. Sorry.
Yeah, I
Three
think
live
that's
crew,
what it was
right?
called, right? 3 Live Crew.
I think so.
Yeah, because it was with Conan, and then I forgot the other guy. I always forget them. I always forget him. But
Was it?
he got
It
to
wasn't
mix
Road
it with
Dogg.
both worlds. No, they try to do
Oh.
that too, and I hated that. They try to bring him back into the fold and make him a heel at one point, and I didn't like that either. Like when I watch the old school stuff on YouTube, I just get so annoyed with Road Dogs. I'm just like, oh, like you just a fly. Like why are you here? Like we know it's light in here, but why
It's
would
a
you come to the
bit
light?
cringy. It's a bit cringy.
I mean,
Was
it's just
his
him.
braids extensions?
No, he actually has shortened the braids at the time.
Is it the braids?
Thank you,
You don't work
Jonathan.
with me no more. Okay.
Dunk.
Oh god, I
But it
love it
was
so
fun.
much.
They used to have what I liked about the crew, funny of the crew. They were supporting, I remember the most I remember it, and that also was a big deal to me, which is why when I see black champions, I'm just like heart beat still, is when they were for so long, I think it was almost like 4 months, they were like doing everything they could to make sure that Ron Killings at the time could get a second NWA championship opportunity, and he won that second time. So I was like, did it by himself based on his speech, and then he did it with a crew that had kind of like supported each other, and it wasn't too gimmicky, but it was still like a playoff of 2 Live Crew. Let's be real, but
Right.
it still did what it was supposed to do, which I loved,
I agree.
and that was giving him another championship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait, you
Shall
said 2
we?
Live Crew, so they were keeping it PG, or were they going full NC-17 like 2 Live Crew? Because if you know 2 Live Crew,
It
It
get
was a
crazy.
soft play off of 2 Live Crew. Let's put it that way.
okay,
'Cause
cool.
okay,
Because I
I
just
hope I
saw
made.
I just saw on Twitter recently of like an interview of like Luke was doing with Hove and had the girls doing some stuff that's not PG in the bag. That's like, wait, this exists? And y'all forget 2 Live Crew. Yeah, there's a reason why censorship.
They get in. They
And if
used
you
to
ever
get
get a chance
in.
to watch that match, watch it was he had won in a fatal 4-way. Interesting enough, a young AJ Styles is a part of that fatal 4-way. Actually one of my
Mm.
it's actually one of like a great matte TNA match. So when they talk about TNA history, they actually bring up that match. So
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
it was something it was a little rabbit hole I went down. We were doing our past fan club. So I just always just vividly remember how cool that match was. It was 4 people and Tim. I think it's Raven. It's him, Raven. I'll get the other guy later, but it's a really great 4-way match. It wasn't like X Division esque, but it was a lot of flying, a lot of swift moves, a lot of did you just see that kind of opportunity type of matches? Like a lot of quickness. Not your traditional fatal 4-way, more of like if X Division and if Randy Orton had went to the X Division and had a match, that would be that. Let's put it that way.
Ooh.
It'd be like 17 RKO's and shit. It'd be out of nowhere.
Randy wasn't in the X division.
That would be hot, wouldn't it? Just RKO everybody and leave.
We talking pre-sleeves Randy Orton or like ball-headed Randy, young Randy? Nah, because you know that there's like different iterations of Randy.
Oh,
So it's like,
absolutely.
which one are we catching them at?
Riddle Randy.
Mm.
That,
The one that likes to have fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say the girl's his favorite string.
He's enjoying himself.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got to get into the 24/7 title
Mm-hmm.
because I think he definitely carried that shit. And when I say I don't mean literally, I mean like figuratively. Like if it was not for him, I think, oh, look at Bad Bunny. Sorry, I got a little excited. But he definitely made it fun. I think he definitely made it something that made us want to look forward to it. Him and Carmella, we already talked about, but he did a lot of funny stuff with this championship. He was champion 811 times. What are some moments that stick out to you? I know Drake Maverick's wedding was brought up. I always think about that too because that was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
What is a moment y'all think about when it comes to R-Truth in the 24/7 championship?
Well, we named another one because the whole when R-Truth broke Brock Lesnar, that was during when R-Truth was 24/7 champion for like the 19,000th time. So that would fly in that category. I forget
exactly.
I forget who he was trying to get, but like when him and Carmelo were on the fucking golf course.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny.
I don't know if he's trying to take it off someone, someone's trying to take it off him, and they jump on the golf course and get out.
Was that Fox Sports reporter?
No, that was another time.
Obviously Rosenberg.
Oh, he definitely was a champion at one point.
And I remember how Rosenberg
he will
lost
remind
it.
you every time you listen to his show.
Oh yeah, he plugs that, and then it's like, yeah, but how'd you lose that? Because R-Truth pulled up on that hotel room. I was like, give me that.
Wow. Well, not many people can say they're a former WWE like a champion in WWE. So
Yeah,
I give that to him. Andre, y'all remember when he declared and undeclared himself for the Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Sorry, Cedric Mullins finally hit a home run.
Ooh,
I didn't say Cedric Alexander. I'd be like, oh shit.
No, well, the funny thing is they just showed a video, like a photo of him, and it was like a highlight reel, and he had his hair, and I was just thinking like, man, dude need to grow his hair back, but he may have just put an end to whatever. He may have just put an end to the Orioles 5-game losing streak.
So I'm not gonna lie. I know diehard WWE fans are like, oh, I hated when this shit would happen. I love when like a match would go on and fucking R-Truth and Carmella would interrupt it with like the rest of the locker room flocking towards him to try to get this title off of him. Like that shit will pop me during like random Raws where it's like, what the fuck is here comes Truth and Carmella, and here comes the entire locker room and like fuck up whoever was wrestling.
I like the disguises that they would do so that they could get away with having a title. And I was waiting for the moment where Carmella would pin him or he would pin her. And they teased little moments, but they looked out for each other, which I thought was cute. And then there was times where R-Truth didn't recognize Carmella in the disguises.
Yeah. Well, like you said earlier, the comic relief, right? That's needed in wrestling. It's like people forget wrestling is for kids. And we, you know, at least WWE, I'm sorry. WWE is sports entertainment for kids. That's where the money's at. And like I was having a conversation, shouts out to Amber Rodriguez, and she was like, you think it'll go back to the Attitude Era when they go to Netflix? I said, no, I just think they'll take the censorship off. But at the end of the day, like if the three of us buy a ticket, right? That's 3 tickets. But if we each take like kids, nephews, nieces, little cousins, that's more. They can't go by themselves. So it's more value in that. And I think R-Truth is like the perfect person because, like, as P would always say, everybody ain't meant to be world champion. So you gotta have those people there, such as an R-Truth, who can sit there and make you laugh. Him and Carmella just, you know, having fun. And when it's time to get serious, they get serious.
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing I really admire about R-Truth because he has like fun matches. He is a former world champion. Like he has the background to like now he could play games. You know, he could be our comic relief. Like he could, you know, just be that person. And seeing him return and get a pop just as big as anyone else returning recently, I think was really fun.
Survivor Series.
Yeah, because he's one of those people. I don't want to say you take for granted, but like you don't look at his return pop, like you don't think about that. But then he's one of those people where you're like, oh shit, I really missed R-Truth. I forgot he was gone. Like I missed him. I'm glad he's back, and he's really been on a roll. I think since he's been back. Yeah, are y'all ready for some trivia?
Dun, dun, dun.
How many times has R-Truth been 24/7 champion?
I'm gonna say 57, but I didn't look.
72.
I feel like it's
lower.
I feel like it's lower, like 62.
Lower. Brian, 36. You were very, very close.
54.
Yes. I feel like you looked that up before.
I promise you. No, so I was getting ready to as I was putting the graphics together. But then
it's okay if you cheated, Brian.
But then
you can cheat.
No. I'm sorry. No.
But then
no.
I don't know about world champion.
No, because I've
that's okay.
I'm happy with him winning the tag team titles at WrestleMania because I was saying this leading up into Mania. I was like, has he ever had a Mania moment? And if not, it made the perfect sense because of the fact of how long he was entangled with the Judgment Day, going into the clubhouse, eating their food, watching their TV, to where they were just beating his ass. It was like that was a good culmination of that story on top of this is how you give Truth his WrestleMania moment.
He was like the Big Show going into WrestleMania 28, right? Where you're booked to lose is not on purpose, but it's just the way the story cumulates, right? Every year around that time. And then after a while, you start looking like, oh shit, this person never won a match. And then they bring it up and then boom, you have your moment. Like, you know, like we know because we knew Bianca undefeated. Undertaker, you ain't really realized it until it's like, oh shit, 9-0. You know, and R-Truth hadn't won a WrestleMania match. So, but yeah, shout out to you know, the multiple time hardcore. I mean, 24/7 champion.
But just to play devil's advocate real quick, can you picture R-Truth becoming world champion and having to go to the Good Morning America or the Today Show and have a fucking conversation with them with the title in R-Truth character?
honestly, in 2011, when he was facing Cena, that was the time. Because he would have been just a nasty heel. Like, he would have been not what Mark Henry was, because Mark Henry was like the Hall of Pain, but Mark Henry wasn't going around kissing babies. That's when R-Truth would have made sense as the world champion. Now he's an outclass himself.
So his time has passed. He's doing everything that he should be doing right now. I think maybe another U.S. title run.
Maybe he doesn't want it. I think of like Xavier
Right.
Woods, where like everyone's like, why isn't Xavier Woods world champion? Kofi did it, E did it, and Woods was like, I never wanted that. King of the Ring
I'm
was
with
my
you
shit.
on that one. Cause like it doesn't have to be one of those things where when I wouldn't want to be champion because of this. Oh, everyone else in your faction was champion, now it's your turn. Like, no. Like that's not a world championship make. Like, you know, I don't know. But that's how I always feel. As
And I
Brian
think the
always says.
casual fans don't really realize what it means to become world champion. Like if you watch Bianca and Montez, and like Bianca kind of laid it out of her being like the women's world champion and all the shit she had to go through, and she had no days off. Times that by 10 if you're like the world champion. So imagine like Roman and Cody were like every day you're doing something and you're representing the company because you are the face of the company. But you don't have any off days. You have all the Make-A-Wish stuff. You have all the media obligations. You have all these other advertising and stuff like that, corporation meetings, and then you got to jump in the ring and wrestle on top of that. Like, it's a lot.
That is a lot.
More
Does
questions?
anyone listen to his music?
I listened.
Is it good?
I don't rate music to say what's good and what's not, because
Did you enjoy it?
He can rap.
I didn't hit the play button again.
Okay.
I'll put it to you like this, P.
It's not something you would have on repeat.
I'll put it to you like this, P. Like, there are people who are out right now who are big artists whose music is like ass cheeks. Truth is better. Truth's stuff is better than theirs.
That is
Be
valid.
ashy.
That is valid because literally all the most popular music right now is trash.
Because
At least
Dude,
rap
some of
music.
them are
I'm over
ass.
drill.
Seindole.
I'm over drill. No, I fully understand. I looked at that freshman class and I was like, okay, no.
What you think
gosh.
about how many wrestlers had like something come out? You had like R-Truth. You had the guy who's responsible for Joe Hendry. You had Arion had music.
That's
you
the
had,
best rapper of all time. AJ Francis.
Why
the
would
best
you
rapper of
throw
all time.
that?
talk about it.
Period.
You know, John Cena. You know, a lot of people had
People
albums.
really be
Macho
trying to
Man.
tell me John Cena could rap.
First of all, you're talking about somebody who came up with an album in the height of when we still loved Eminem. We're not going to talk about John Cena there. No, no, absolutely not.
So it was all about the timing with John.
It was about the timing, honey. Like when I tell you that there's what he rapped about living in Westbury in a 5-bedroom house. No. Your parent, no.
It works in 2005. It does not work in
He's
2024.
certified platinum because of the time it came out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's like Truth knows his lane and he caters to that lane.
Like him having an album, Rikishi. Listen, put more respect on Rikishi's name.
Wait, Rikishi has an album?
Rikishi's
He's
yes,
been
it's
releasing
fire.
songs for some reason.
And it's fire though. Better.
Oh, is it? I gotta be honest with you. I have not listened, so
it's a little better than John Cena. I'm sorry. Like
He used to have a song called "Put a Little Ass on It."
There you go. There you go.
as he should, honestly.
Yeah.
As he should.
Hold on.
Hey, Scarf. We talk about
think
Ricky.
it was on
Yeah,
one
you
of
gotta
them,
look it up. Like,
I think it was on one of the joints.
No, for real. He was on one of the same forcible entry stuff. He had a song on there. When he was the heel, he dropped the song. Didn't he sing his theme song, Bad Man?
Oh my God, there is a song that exists with this. Put a little ass on it.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Hey, Krista. I cannot believe
His newest song is lit.
Song.
Scarf agrees. His song it's actually listen. It's better. Listen.
Yo, the lyrics to this shit, I gotta listen to this after the show.
I'm just saying.
Oh my God, I learned something new
It's
today. Thank
interesting.
you.
That is so funny. I never thought about R-Truth in Crime Time.
That would be interesting.
Did they rap?
I thought they just dance.
Because I read like anything I see of them, they just look like they dress like 50 Cent. But then I remember the frame that we were in, and I was like, oh, this makes total fucking sense.
It's like, oh yeah, everyone had G Unit shit.
Yes.
Spinner chains off Canal Street and everything.
Reason, like it all makes a lot of sense. Okay, so y'all ready for some more trivia?
Sure.
Okay. What was one of R-Truth's first jobs before he got into wrestling?
Oh,
it's not a traditional job. It's something that you would be like, what, really?
A bodyguard?
No. Which is a very common one for wrestlers.
So shoot. Uncommon job. Damn.
I don't want to say
it's
something
not something that you would expect.
That was somebody said teacher. I was thinking like babysitter or something of that sort, like somebody working.
It's not as wholesome as that.
Oh, drug dealer.
Was he a drug dealer?
No. I am not saying on the stream that R-Truth was a drug dealer.
No. He said he admitted it himself on the 24.
Oh, okay, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay. So I had the right to be. Listen, I had the right to guess. I'm just saying.
So I'm gonna say counselor.
You said it wasn't wholesome.
Alexa, stop.
Was he a hitman?
I was about to say.
Hey yo.
No. Y'all ready?
Also, Seindole B do not reflect everyone else on TWB Fan Club. We will not incriminate ourselves on this recorded platform.
No.
Not counselor, right?
No.
Damn.
Let me know if when y'all ready.
I was gonna say
if it's not, does it have anything to do with music?
Yes.
So he was a rapper.
Nope.
No, it would be if it wasn't a musician.
Hype man.
Well, he wasn't a producer.
No.
Yeah, he wasn't a hype man.
He was at one point, but that's not the job I'm referring to. All right, I'm gonna just tell y'all.
Did he do the lights on the stage, girl? I don't know.
He was a stripper.
That explains the body.
DJ would have been good. I thought y'all would get it when I kept saying it wasn't wholesome.
He was a Magic Mike.
He was a stripper, so he was on Sam
Magic
Roberts.
Mike, Triple XL.
He was jumping on the pony. He was a Chippendale.
He was.
That explains drop that thing.
He was Kenny King's inspiration.
Come here, girl. Get on the stage so I can drop that
Kenny
thing.
King had the same profession. They was a Chippendale.
Yep. So he was on Sam Roberts' podcast in 2017, and he talked about it. And honestly, when I was looking up R-Truth trivia, a lot of people said if you want to get to know him, to watch that or listen to that Sam Roberts episode from March 2017. But he was a stripper to make ends meet. And he said he stopped after a certain point because he wasn't doing like stripper dances. He was still doing like hip hop dances. So he said that he felt silly after a while because that's not going to work in that environment. So I do love that. Oh, this is also a very interesting fun fact. I remember this during the pandemic.
Oh, what?
Yes.
We're still stuck on the fact that he was a Magic Mike doing the pony.
He was a Magic Mike. I mean, with that body, he's chocolate at some point.
Yo, what would his song have been that he danced to?
What's up?
His own
It's up.
I'm looking at little Jimmy a whole different now.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna post the link to this episode, the YouTube video, on our Twitter. So if people want to check it out, they can check it out.
You want to come play with little Jimmy?
R-Truth.
I had the best Royal Rumble seat in the house, sitting there next to P and Sam. Reacting Jade Cargill come out.
That was fun. That was shocking.
Yes. O'Hearn.
Y'all lost?
Sorry. No, we just hit another home run. It hit the
why you say it
like that? You remember the baseball? I said yes.
Oh, look at Brian caring about June games.
Always.
Damn.
You just mad because y'all on the seven out of the last 9
Chill,
losses.
Hey, you just mad because you haven't won a
chill,
title in how many
chill,
years?
chill.
Hey,
Ooh,
stop reminding me.
what?
When I
That's been
exit the
30
chat,
years. Is that
I
true?
don't
You
That's
find
haven't won
my
a
because
Facebook
championship
we
in
chat.
didn't
30
have to
years?
Our
buy
rings
out.
got rings.
Those, first of all, those ones when there was only
Go
2 teams
Yankees, go
don't count. There was no
Yankees.
free agency because y'all was scared to play the Negro League. So we ain't even gonna talk about those
Oh
Yes,
black.
my
I'm.
God.
Yes, I'm counting my rings in the
Those
prohibition.
because y'all couldn't win it without the man from Baltimore, the black man named Babe Ruth. So come on now.
First off, Babe Ruth is Dominican. This has been proven.
Wait, this is funny. Our truth should have been sexual chocolate.
Chocolate.
That is so funny. Well, now that we know his background, you know, maybe.
Sexual chocolate.
Oh
Everybody.
yes,
Chocolate.
Krista. Yo, Krista B's on point with this.
Oh
That
my
would
God,
make
yes.
a lot
Wind
of
blowing
sense.
and the shirt open
Shirt
Yep.
open, Tim's with the socks knee high.
with the
Tim.
shades
How he
on.
came across the pocket easy in them.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Oh my God. All right. Y'all ready for some more trivia?
I'm ready.
Some R-Truth.
I don't know how you
trivia.
top
Oh, I don't know
stripper.
how. I don't know how you chop.
I don't think I'm gonna top that, to be honest with y'all. But I will say
Jose out here.
that he's very talented. We know that he clearly can entertain in every way. It seems like he does music, he raps, he does all that stuff. But he was also in some movies.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know what movies he was in? He was in
Head of
4
State.
movies. He was definitely in Head of State. That movie is so funny.
Wait, what?
Do y'all remember that movie with Chris Rock and
Yeah.
Bernie
I
Mac?
remember the movie. Like, I'm like, wait, he was in that?
Yeah.
Where?
All right, I'm gonna pull up a screenshot of him in that movie.
Holy shit!
I want to show you the clip. I'm gonna send. Remind me to send you the clip, Justin, because he definitely was in Head of State.
Damn. So I remember Tracy
I remember he was
Morgan,
Head
Tamala
of
Jones,
State.
but I don't remember R-Truth.
Wait,
The
what's that
wrestler.
movie? Wait! Don't make me lose my thought. Blood Brothers. I remember him in Blood Brothers.
Yes, he was in Blood Brothers. Get
You
him,
just reminded me. He definitely was.
And that was in 2018. So that feels like it wasn't that long ago, but it kind
that
of
was 2018.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
You right.
Okay, so that's 2.
You know why I know? Because now it's on Pluto, and I just watched it the other day. That was like months ago. And I remember he was in that movie.
Was he good? Did he have a big part?
It just hit me when you talked about movies.
All right, you said there's 2 more. Was it like a notable movie?
One of them was nominated for an Academy Award, which is The Wrestler. And he made a cameo in that movie as a TNA wrestler. There's a lot of other TNA wrestlers in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one more, which is, I don't think you guys would know it because it wasn't like super. Yes.
Dance movie?
Yeah, Break Dance Revolution in 2016, which makes sense because he be breakdancing. I don't think he stripped in that movie though. I think it was just a regular.
As long as they ain't Magic Mike in there, it don't matter.
You just said that so smoothly though.
That's you know that's my humor.
You know what's funny? You know who else is in? You know who else is in that movie? Fetty Wap. It's in Blood Brothers.
Stop! Wow, that is a blast from my New Jersey past.
It is on Pluto, and I remember looking at it, and I'm like, why is like R-Truth? I say, wait, what is Fetty Wap doing here as a drug dealer? Wait, what is going on with this movie?
His rise and fall gotta be studied. Fetty Wap's rise and fall is wild. Like he went from being like the top star, especially because I lived in Jersey and he was from Jersey, and that's all y'all fucking played was Fetty Wap for like 2 years straight.
He was repping Patterson to the fullest. Then they found out he had all them baby mamas. I mean, he was knocking up reality stars. So
nah, he was that popping for how little second. Everybody was trying to get pregnant by him. I was like, oh, you don't got no money.
He got rapping money. Cool. That was it.
Did you guys like The Wrestler? I know we talked about it a lot when we did our wrestling movie fan club, but do y'all remember his cameo?
Great,
like,
but it's dark. But then again, after seeing the shit with the Von Erichs, that takes dark movie to another level.
Ain't
It's a
nothing
lot.
darker than that.
Yeah.
The Wrestler was fun. I watched it. I had a different appreciation for it after starting to like do more work in the indies and stuff. So it's fun to like see that, and then it's also cool to watch it with somebody who's not familiar with wrestling or even just independent wrestling. So I watched it with my sister, and she was like, "Wait, this what they be doing?" I was like, "Yeah."
It'd be rough after they
Mhm.
retire and they trying to chase something that ain't there no more. Um,
Wish the
so
Von Erichs could have got to that point.
right, me too, me too. Have y'all been watching What Killed WCW?
Cool, of course.
I have to, but
Ooh,
school me on it,
ooh,
Brian.
ooh. No, I'm saying that's what it seemed like now because it seemed like every time
You
you
should
watch
watch
it,
it, Krista. I think you would
I
like
think
it.
you'll like it, Krista.
I think you'll like it. It's good. Um,
every time you turn on like an episode, it's a different person. Was it Goldberg? Was it the Finger Poke of Doom? Was it Brad Siegel? Was it Eric Bischoff?
right.
Was it Vince Russo? You
It
know,
was everybody in
It was everybody. It was every single thing.
It was
it
everything.
was when
The
they
greed,
told Rey
money,
Mysterio take that mask off because
they
they
ruined
showed
it.
didn't
Why they
So,
do
understand
that? Why they
the
do
full
coach.
that?
disclaimer. No
Conan
offensive
was
to anybody that I
yeah,
may or may
Conan
not
was
like.
trying to fight for him.
But then he
As he
should have stayed in.
should.
Mhm.
As
That's
he
another
Yeah.
dark
should.
side. Right?
Because it
Well,
because remember how sacred
Yes.
like the mask is in the first place. We hear about all of them talk about it. So but to hear that part of the episode and then knowing what was the it's behind it, I was like, ew, like now y'all make me sick. Cause why you can't reinvent the wheel. Sometimes you leave the wheel alone. And having a mask on as a
Mhm.
lucho was the wheel. And y'all try to like shave it down to a square. Like why? Why what was the point? That just so that part of it, I was like, oh, that and the whole, Bret Hart basically saying I'm the biggest hater. The whole
No,
thing, I'm
they're
still
biggest
lost.
idiots.
I still don't know who killed WCW. All I know is everybody.
Everybody.
mhm.
I don't.
Network
I
exec.
gotta watch the last episode, but I don't think there would be a dark side of the ring with R-Truth Delling
R-Truth
because I
has
don't
been
think.
very open about his past, especially like when he went to like prison and shit like that. He's been extremely open about that. So I don't know why they would do a like if you watch the WWE 24 like episode on him, that's good right there. You don't really need a dark side of the ring. He's kind of
And there's
very open
not
about everything.
when we think about Dark Side of the Ring too, keep in mind these are very taboo, controversial moments in wrestling that they are covering, hence the dark side. Like it's not like compared to like a junkyard dog who for a long time until that Dark Side of the Ring episode came out, we didn't know what he was really going through his career. We only know him as what we saw on screen. But then when you get to the behind logistics of what Junkyard Dog went through, it's a lot darker, but it also paves the story of holy crap, we've seen this before in wrestling. Same thing with New Jack. New Jack literally has the most controversial past from his up
Bumbling.
to his down. You're talking about somebody who literally, if you look at anybody who compares to his career now, like all the controversial stuff that he's done, he went from being one of the most notable to had his lowest. Like his last controversial match was in a Ramada Inn with like 16 people.
Wow.
So when you think about the both of them, you kind of it's apples to oranges to me. R-Truth has been able to kind of make his career of something of joy, even though we know like he went through probably more stereotypical things being in the WWE and being in the square circle longer than most. We know he probably went through a lot, but he hasn't turned it into always like, oh, I'm gonna make trouble. It's woo, it's me. He's always fed that and turned it into something. So when I think Dark Side of the Ring, I think of like cautionary tales and
Right.
this is why this was. When I think of R-Truth, I think of someone that's like, listen, they've been here, they're a veteran, and this is why you should care about them. If that makes any sense.
Oh, it
Mhm.
makes perfect sense. Like, bro, they did a Dark Side of the Ring episode on who killed Dino Bravo.
Exactly. Like, and it's been a mystery for how long?
I mean, still.
That's true. And I think it's more stories that WWE was never going to tell. Like we were never going to get a WWE New Jack like documentary.
We were never gonna know what happened
So
with the steroids.
right, or even what's his name that killed his girlfriend? Why I can't think of his name? Jimmy
Jimmy
Snooker.
Snooker.
they were never gonna expose that or mention it or anything. So I think that's what
Yeah, that one was wild.
Dark
Yeah.
Side is for. So let's talk about some of our all-time favorites, our truth moments that live rent free. One our truth moment that lives rent free in your head.
The boombox with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
Just the
that was
fact that
good.
he
Because then he
had
started bringing it out.
It's like it almost felt like this one, like it's like Brock was like, "Oh shit, I'm actually supposed to like knock you out or whatever." But it was just like the fact that he could break him. It just again just goes to show you the respect that he has from his peers.
Yeah. For me, I think it would be when he this is actually recently and that's why it's stuck in my head, is when he flew to a totally different country. And then he was like in the like Uber from the airport.
He's like,
like
I'm in Austria. Where's the show? And it's like the show's in Australia. What?
That was really, 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 really funny to me.
Also, like, think about that. Like, R-Truth doing shit like that. He did that so people like CM Punk can get locked in the WWE headquarters, or Drew McIntyre can be a complete troll on the internet. Like, it wasn't until R-Truth started doing that stuff that all the other wrestlers started picking up, like, oh shit, we can also use social media to be funny on and off camera. Everybody started doing it. Trendsetter, just putting that out. You can
It's
thank
true.
R-Truth for that.
I'm so glad you mentioned his social media because he's been active on TikTok for years. He does fun little videos with his kids. He talks about his music. Like he knows how to use his social media. Krista mentioned that he'll be on like 187. Like he has maximized, I think, his persona. And I don't know who said it before, but like his music is made for the people it's made for. Like R-Truth knows his lane, basically.
Like the most recent, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna fast forward to this moment, but like the fact that he was hugging Liv Morgan the fact that he thought he had a part to play in JD McDonough and Finn winning that stupid ass, but I'm like, wait, why is he? It was like a moment him hugging Liv Morgan.
Miz.
I'm like, what the hell? I was like, what? I'm like, okay, now that's the whole part of you used to be looking at stuff and you'd be like, that's just Miz. Like you can't even like be mad at him for you just got the storm that I just got. You can't even be mad at him like doing shit like that because it's just our truth. As you just gotta say, that's just truth being truth. At this point,
yeah.
Him thinking it was in Judgment Day and just him completely breaking fucking Damian Priest on a weekly basis. Nah, what was it? The night after WrestleMania where Priest and Rhea were holding up the titles, and then he comes up right in between them and holds up his tag team title. Like that one lives rent free. I was like, that had me crying into my seat.
No, let's talk about him going to Matrix wedding so that he can wear his belt back in the 24/7. And he had Drake so paranoid on his own honeymoon that his wife was like, "Did you seriously bring that belt here?" And he made the 24/7 championship run amazing again. Like, I'm sorry,
he did. Also, fun fact: that was legit their wedding. It wasn't staged or anything. Yeah. Like that was a legit Drake.
I was 8 years old when I realized that that's like his real life wife.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Good job.
Real crazy.
Good job.
She is hot. She's hot. She's a wrestler too. I don't know if y'all knew that.
Yeah.
I remember. Okay. Did she ever compete in the Mae Young Classic?
I believe so.
She was in the first one.
Okay. Yeah. That's what she's familiar. Okay, makes sense.
Yes, Krista, that's a good one.
had a run in TNA. Yeah, my bad.
Thank you, Brian. I always know things. I always learn things on the fan club. I appreciate that.
That was funny, Rakasha. I always liked Carmella.
Yo, Eric, shout out to that, and then like, that's my bad.
Yo.
My bad.
Liv got him too. Cost him the title. God dang it, R-Truth.
Shout out to the Miz. I'm so sorry. He didn't mean it.
He was doing double duty. He had to do commentary. Which
Mind you, he's on commentary watching the Miz. I mean, watching Truth put their titles on the line.
Yes.
So can I ask you these titles? The 24/7 championship, right? What was your most surprising defense when it came to R-Truth? His most surprising defeat?
That's a great question because
he's had so many.
He's had it 54 times.
Didn't he lose it on a plane ride to one of the Saudi shows, or did he take it off of fucking gender on a plane?
No, him and Tozawa. First of all, do y'all remember the fact that him and Tozawa literally Santa Claus won it, and then they took it off of Santa Claus? And their biggest concern was they're not going to end up on a naughty list. I was like, that's your concern? You just took the belt from Santa. And it was him and Tozawa. And Tozawa was like having looking like he had a heart attack because he was like, I want to do this. And he took it off. I remember that episode so vividly because it was like the one time I actually got to watch a holiday one. I remember that one too, Devin. I remember that one too.
Since you brought up Tozawa, what was it, him and Tamina, when they got married and R-Truth was the fucking the Reverend.
It was like a double wedding.
It became a double wedding.
It was Reggie and Dana Brooke too at the same time.
Yes. That one Liz referee was like, oh my God, Truth.
But
that was such a spectacular shit show.
It really was.
But it was fun. So it was just like listen, at Survivor Series, I was like, listen, out of obviously the big one returning and seeing Snack Daddy Randy come back, I was happy to see my R-Truth. I was happy that he was back because right, like he's someone, like I said, he's someone that like he had a bad past, he had an interesting past. Now that we know that he was, he was Jodeci in the Chippendales section of the show, but he was able to turn his life, and I appreciate him for that.
Yeah,
can never make me not like R-Truth.
I mean, it's something you learn every week on the fan club.
I'm not gonna get that out of my head now because I could literally see him being in those 90s videos, just like doing a Cisco
coming
somewhere.
To the stage, K-KWIK. Ooh, yeah.
Do you guys remember when there was going to be an R-Truth game show on the network?
No.
So they did a pilot for it, and it was on the network for a little while, but they ended up, how
God damn it, Mr. Redacted.
And I think they went to the podcast route instead. And that's when they started releasing all those podcasts. But he would have imagine him hosting a game show. That would have been so funny.
Oh, be on it.
I would have loved that.
Right?
I would like that too.
He probably would have messed up the rules and people being I don't know what I just
extremely wonky. Like it's supposed to be like The Price is Right, but everything's wrong.
Yeah. That would be hilarious. Oh my God, y'all heard that thunder?
That's what I said. You just got the same storm that knocked me out.
Like we gotta wind down because you gotta turn the lights off, get under the thing. You know how we used to do back in the day.
Oh, that means the breeze is about to come in.
She's like, "Did you hear the thunder? Oh my God, wind!"
It's like, nah, you hear the thunder. Is that Jay Cargill? There's a storm coming.
You started.
It's like, well, we know Jay's in town.
What do y'all think is next for R-Truth now that him and the Miz aren't a tag team anymore? Do you think they'll continue that? Do you think he'll join another faction? What's next for R-Truth?
I honestly think they get the belts back. I think they get the belts back en route to destroy and the dissemination of the Judgment Day. And then they'll pass it on to say maybe like the Creed brothers or something.
Right. I can see that happening. I definitely think they're getting that back. Oh, you're pushing it.
And the moment he ever wins that world champion, you're gonna be the first person we think of. You gotta come up we gonna talk about it
Well,
because
R-Truth is such an interesting person. Like hell, I wouldn't be surprised he come down to NXT and try and get the North American Championship, because that would just
or
like
be
that would just
confused and he don't know
be
what show he's
confused.
a part
He
of.
think he getting the 24/7 championship again, and he try and get the North American
Remember
Championship.
we brought the ladder out at the Royal Rumble.
That was
Oh
so
my
funny.
God, that was
that was so funny.
that was hilarious.
Oh, how do we feel about? Go ahead, Brian.
I was just gonna say his character, he's so good at it that if we be real, right, even the super woke folks don't even get upset that he's doing stuff like this.
Really don't.
If it was
That's
somebody,
true, yeah.
somebody else who wasn't like as good as like, yo, why they gotta let the black person act like this? Act the fool. But no, R-Truth is just like, because he's not dumb. He just
Some of the smartest. It takes like somebody really smart to act as dumb as R-Truth acts, if that makes sense. Because you have to like get you have to know the timing of like what you're saying and stuff like that. Mr. Redacted, R-Truth was one of his favorite people. Like he said, no one in his life made him laugh more than R-Truth, which is like wild to me when you think about it, because it's like a couple. There's so many photos of them literally cracking up. Like he is a comedic genius, Andre. I absolutely
and it's
agree.
not just the things he says. He's good at like physical comedy. I think of like when he's on Up Up Down Down, and like there was like a segment where like him and Samoa Joe and like two others were getting like shocked, and like he got shocked to where like his body almost fucking levitated and fell in a way that was just like beyond fucking hysterical. But it's like shit only Truth can do.
Facts. Nobody can. They can't write a script for R-Truth at this point, I don't think, and I don't think anyone can write a script for someone else to be like him.
No.
Like he is definitely one.
He doesn't read a script. The script reads him.
And like I said, it gave the way because we're always seen as like a joke, but R-Truth was really able to like he was a heel, and then we got that. But then even when he's trying to be funny, it's like, okay, like you kind of like we kind of deserve. We need that comedic relief, and it's like that's what we adapt to, like people like the New Day, because when the New Day do the same shit, we bump for joy. Like I'm sorry, them throwing pancakes into the crowd was my most favorite thing of all time. Like I was almost pissed one time that it didn't hit me. Like I saw it hit somebody like 3 steps down. I'm like, damn, they got a pancake.
Oh my God,
like,
I have the cutest.
I had a box of Bootios for the longest time.
I love
that was the one, the Bootios.
Oh my God, do we need a New Day appreciation night at some point?
Oh hell yeah,
I'm down.
I'm down for that.
Oh
I
hell
love
yeah.
them. Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna tweet that just for you, Dylan, and see what happens, because I want this to happen for you now. But can we answer this really quickly? Like, do we ever see R-Truth turning heel at this point, or is he too beloved? Is his kind of role in the company already set in stone as like the comic relief?
He's too far gone, I think, because like I mentioned earlier, when he was a heel, he was on top of he was at the top of the card, right? And you figure it was him, Christian, and CM Punk. Those are like your top guys on Raw. And him being a heel right now, it's just because of all the funny stuff. Like he was funny, but he wasn't that funny. You know what I mean? Now it's like it would feel so forced. You know, it would be hard to see like, and maybe, I mean, he could pull it off, I'm sure, but right now to me it's just hard to see it again.
I think the fans just love and appreciate him too much that like even if he did the most dastardly shit, it's like, nah, we love you, dude. It's like it'll be the Rhea Ripley effect, where Rhea's just like a dastardly heel, like, nah, we rock with you. No, we're not booing you. Also,
like it would be hard to take him seriously, like when Montez tries to be like serious. And like I just want to laugh because they're so comical. I'm just like, is this supposed to be a joke? I don't know.
Yeah, like I couldn't get with that, because you turn around, you go on their social media, like Bianca Montez social media, and he's a complete clown. Like not for nothing. Like there's one clip when I was on social media, and I think it's someone's like, I think they're babysitting a baby, and he's just like, the background shows like Coco Melon, and he's just like dancing with the background. I'm like, how you expect me to hate that? I'm not gonna hate that.
I'm gonna boo this man.
You supposed me to boo
Have
this?
You seen what he looked like?
That served our country and literally went up Bianca Belair's, like he ripped his pants at his wedding trying to get the garner. Like, no, I'm not. Who's hating that?
It's gonna be It's gonna be tough.
Nobody.
Like R-Truth, I think, like even if he did something so serious, like if he like ran over Cody, like I still would see like what's the joke? Like, is a joke to this, right? Like this is funny. I'm just trying to think of the worst thing he could possibly do to make someone
That
boo
might
him.
be the guy who could get him booed.
Cody,
Yeah.
because he'll cry.
Nah,
Bingo.
And then everybody be like, why you did that to the white man?
Nah,
There you
that'd be
go.
a split crowd because it'll be a continuous like Cody deserved it.
It's like this what happens when
Why
you
you
say
crying
it
all the
because
time? Take it like a
over.
man. People
Yeah.
get ran over all the time, B. No, Justin does not promote vehicular manslaughter.
The views of Justin do not reflect the views of those on the fan club. Please and thank you.
I mean, Stone Cold survived it, right?
Yeah, he did. I mean, people have survived a lot worse than WWE. I mean, Rey Mysterio was thrown off WWE corporate headquarters.
So was Aleister Black.
Yo, forever in my head rent free. I'm like, really? Of the old one, nonetheless. I'm like, y'all really did that.
Yeah, and Rey Mysterio came back. Aleister Black got thrown to AEW.
Okay, so Chris has a point with this. I agree with this. I agree with this. I don't think Dominic will ever be cheered. So how he gonna be world champion if fans don't even like him?
So here's the thing. But so that's why I say the fan reaction is different than the social media reaction, because everybody's just waiting for him to fold at this point. I don't even think we're booing him. Everybody's just looking at him like, dog, like, what's wrong with you? Like, you got Putang throwing itself at you and you're not going to take it. Like, now we're just looking at him weird. We're not even booing him at this point. And half the other people are like, yo, when's mommy coming back to whoop your ass? Because you just not kicking her away hard enough. What you waiting for?
That's true.
Lightning bolts?
I mean, why has got to kick her away? Maybe he's remembering how, when mommy wanted me to be Judgment Day, what was she doing? She was choking me out and dragging me to the stage and beating my ass on a weekly basis, and Liv is just being nice and buying me stuff and throwing it at me. Like, I'm not used to this.
Nuggets, a whole roll of chicken nuggets.
I got chicken tendies.
One more. You got one more, Justin.
What? Chicken tendies is the one?
I can't.
Is that the one?
Chicken tendies.
I can't.
That's gonna live in my mind rent free. Oh my god. Okay. Before we head out, I know y'all are never gonna guess this, but do you guys know who his first singles match in WWE was against?
Road Dogg?
No. It's a part of a wild ass storyline, which is so funny. K-KWIK's brother.
Oh shit! Wait, what?
Do y'all remember K-KWIK?
Yeah.
That whole story.
Give me a refresher.
Yeah. Oh,
we got time.
I don't know if we can. I don't want to get our channel banned.
This is an after dark thing.
Oh, okay.
Can this be an after dark thing?
Is this the after dark where our troops is gonna dance for us? Oh my bad, Sienna. Oh god damn.
Yo, CRISTA.
My bad, Sienna.
Oh my gosh. Y'all,
why do we always end fan club when you make me choke to death? I'm not you make me laugh.
Oh my god. I like how everybody the chat is too funny. Yes, CRISTA, let Justin know what the KDBig story is. Because that is a wild one. Wild times. And you know that I don't know if anyone else listened to Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard and Conrad Thompson, but Bruce was still trying to defend that storyline. Brian,
that's what you just don't.
The KDBig. I was like, come on, bro. I know you're a WWE guy, but come on, bro. This shit is weird.
Well, Bruce is the last of the I'ma ride this shit out people. Like the people that were with Vince till the wheels fell off, and he's still there because he's like, listen, I have a little faith in Triple H until the wheels fall off of that. But he's like one of the last of the wheels fall off people there. So
you
gotta,
right.
him
He
trying
lucky
to
nothing's
defend that,
come out yet.
son.
Yet. Keyword.
Yet,
You
yet,
know, and Rhonda, she put some stuff out there too.
because
He's
we
just
still
very
don't.
lucky. It's just under the surface.
Yeah.
It hasn't really
We
blown
still
up
don't
into
know who
anything.
executive number 9 and 11 are. Let's be real
Ooh, I
about
wouldn't be surprised if one of those is
I
just.
won't be surprised.
I would not be surprised at all.
It's like you look nasty.
No, honestly, he
He looked like what?
get rejected. Like Johnny
Yeah.
Ace, you know, he's like, you know, he got.
Oh, yeah.
If he don't open his mouth,
Wait, he's like what?
yeah, you know,
Like
oh,
somebody,
Queen P.R. is in
like he been in a chokehold for 20 years.
Yeah,
Yes.
but he at least if he keep his mouth shut, he's at least a handsome guy. You know, it's like
This is true.
Mm,
we know so much about him, so much, but he's like on the surface, it's like okay, he's not
You're
a
right.
bad.
Like if you don't know anything about him, he's like this tall.
Cause he look
I
nice
mean,
with
he bagged
mouth.
the Bella's mom. He
And she's a
bagged her,
baddie.
wiped
got
her
money.
up real quick,
Mhm.
and she is a baddie.
Mhm.
Yeah,
She-
he's real stuff.
They got money, I'm sure. They need. She didn't need
Mama was real estate
bingo.
That's
in
true.
and
That's true.
Arizona.
He had a nerve to be out here cheating on her.
Mm-mm-mm. With anyway, I don't know. Did we ever get a singles match with R-Truth and Undertaker?
If we maybe
we
a
probably
house show.
have because Truth's been around long enough that it's had to happen on either a random
Right.
Raw, SmackDown, or house show.
Let me throw it in the Google machine.
Right,
I just
Mr.
read the
Gracie
group
Endo?
chat. No, did you read the group chat?
I mean, Saraya.
It sums it up perfectly.
I don't.
We about to wake up.
Only
Chris
thing I see
Pablo,
in the
they
Google
about to be like,
machine
excuse me.
is 2K24. So I don't think they've ever had a one-on-one match, which is very interesting. A lot of people make R-Truth break Undertaker's streak in 2K24 from what I'm seeing, which is very interesting. The Undertaker recently said on his podcast that he believes that R-Truth should have his own variety show.
I can see that.
Me too.
I can see that too. That's what I'm saying. Like I can imagine him having like a black sketch comedy show of his own, like
Black
him
Lady being
sketch
like
show,
the center point.
and then having like people like Biggie and CM Punk, and then John Cena could pull up every once in a while. Like how they try to do is like they try to revolve like Southpaw wrestling. I feel like that should have been something that R-Truth should have spearheaded. I get that they wanted John Cena to do it, but that could have been something that R-Truth could have kept it alive. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it would have been good. You could have blended in the old with the new, you know, put some NXT in here, put some Raw, put SmackDown, like make it old school again. And it would have been fun.
I agree.
I can see
I
that.
think so too. And he would definitely be good for a variety show. One other thing before we close out that Carmella talks about a lot is how comfortable R-Truth made her feel when they started doing more skits, they started doing more things together, because he's always been a comedy act to a certain extent, but for her that was kind of new to her, and she always talks about how supportive he was and how he would tell her ways to say things that made it funnier and stuff like that, and how she learned a lot from him, even them doing silly things. Like it was an invaluable time for her when she was with R-Truth. So I really appreciated hearing that, because he is a veteran and he is very well respected, and I think anyone can learn a lot from him, especially in WWE. I don't know, my Total Divas people, I don't know if y'all remember his funny ass cameos on that show. Him being deathly afraid of cats.
Oh,
and
yeah.
going to Natalia's house for a
Go to
barbecue out of
Natalia's
all
house.
places.
I
She
remember
had
that.
like
Counter.
11 cats. And if anyone knows cats, she tried to keep them all in one room. Cats
Nah, bro.
don't listen to people. Cats
They don't
do
care.
whatever
Cats
the
are
fuck they want to
evil.
do.
Cats are assholes.
Cats are fucking evil.
They are
And Natty has like
Cats
19 of them.
Cats is like, this is my house.
And she's inviting him to the barbecue backstage, and he like, oh no, because you got them cats. And she's like, no, you gotta come out, make sure they don't come. They got out. He ran. He's climbing up on all the surfaces.
He got on her
typical
countertop. Like, I was
sitcom
dead.
shit. Yeah,
That
but
is
he makes
scary.
really good cameos.
Do not invite
And-
me to your house if you got cats or dogs.
See, but
I love a good dog, but don't bite me with your cat.
I like dogs. I do like dogs.
Dogs, yes, but then it also depends on dogs.
It does depend. It does. Is that Paige wrestling?
Yeah, Saraya.
Oh, I mean, fuck
No, because
Saraya.
I'm saying it because only reason I said that because I literally said the same thing 2 minutes ago. I was like, oh, Paige is on.
It's
Oh, you
not
meant
Paige,
that
it's
page.
Saraya.
It's crazy because
Oh,
we
my guy,
still.
Saraya. Get it correct.
When we gonna get that Mercedes Saraya match?
It's coming. It's coming. It's gonna be for the World
in
Championship.
2032?
Okay, I can buy that.
Okay, no, I'm not gonna need Mercedes still in AEW in fucking 6 years. What is that? How long from now?
She got a year. Get back home.
Yes,
Play
you got a
around. Do
year.
your
Go,
thing.
go
Get your ass
travel.
back
Do
in this
your little
house.
thing. But you know where you
I told
belong.
her and CM Punk got the same path, child. I'm just watching. I ain't even gonna comment. I don't
That's
even want to.
spicy.
I've been saying it. Watch, because something gonna happen. Somebody gonna piss her off because y'all remember Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter ain't back in the business here. And
That's
Ooh.
true.
y'all gotta think about that. And then one of them gonna pull a hangman and piss her off. Ain't enough money in 20 kind of account to save that child. Triple H's gonna be like
Right.
this.
And also,
You
like,
gonna be like this.
I
no.
don't see Britt doing that.
She's doing all her side quest missions,
I don't
man.
see Britt
Mercedes is
Baker
rocking.
She's
doing
living her life, and
Yeah.
that's the way it
She
should
pulled up in
be.
CMLL for the first time to go.
Yo, homegirl told
confront
her in
Stephanie.
Spanish, like, bitch, this my house. You speak Spanish.
That was
Shit.
funny.
That's good. That's good shit right there.
That was a bomb ass match too. If y'all have not watched that, that was a good match.
I am definitely gonna watch that because I already see the feedback on social media. Now you just mentioned it, so I'm definitely gonna watch that. I love my girl.
Mhm.
I really enjoy getting into R-Truth tonight. He is so funny. He brings me so much joy just thinking about him and all the fun that I see him bring to arenas. And whether that's making jokes, whether that's a promo backstage or during the dance break or him running through the crowd for the 24/7 championship, it's always a lot of fun. And it looks like everyone enjoys working with him too because people literally can't keep a straight face when they are working with him, which I think is so cool and so funny. And he's been in the business for so long and we still love him just as much. We're not like, oh God, R-Truth is back. We're like excited to see him. So I love that. Give his music a listen if you haven't already. It's good. I might even try to take a listen. Brian, we're gonna listen to R-Truth music and we're gonna see what we think about it.
Pete,
How about
have you
that?
listened to his music and reenacting his stripper dances?
Yo.
I'm gonna scour the internet and see if there is any footage of this. But I don't even know if it would have made it on any program.
Maybe it's on the other side of that VHS tape that Nikki Cross dropped off.
Oh shit! Imagine! Oh my god! Oh, that would be so funny.
That's
But
why I
I
cut
cannot
out.
wait for him to interact with one of them. I'm sorry. I feel like it's gonna happen.
No.
I feel like it will happen in the far, far future.
I'm scared what they're gonna do to him.
Exactly, and that's
Protect
what I
my
want.
R-Truth at all costs.
That's how you make it real scary.
They gonna pull up.
Find
He's gonna
a
be
way
like
to
trick
fuck
or
with him.
treat.
oh my goodness!
And they're gonna drag him in the house, and he ain't gonna see him for a month.
alone. Leave our
And then
future world champion alone.
He gonna
right,
come back
Dylan?
talking some I escaped with the trenches. That's what he gonna talk about. He gonna be like, I escaped through the trenches. I don't know where I was, but I escaped. And it was dark, and it was dark again. But now I see the light. Watch, I'm telling you.
Fuck,
Yeah.
now I want a segment of this just to see what the hell they would do with R-Truth.
Me
He'd
too.
probably be super serious after this. He probably make no more jokes afterwards.
That would actually be funny as hell.
They took me and they scooped me.
They scooped me.
You want to know where they live? Nowhere, because you can't see it.
No, but
We
my
didn't even
hero,
talk about
Cena.
when he mimics John Cena, because I think that might actually be my top favorite thing
That's my
that
favorite.
R-Truth does.
Remember-
I think that's the funny thing. When John Cena came out,
Night after Raw, night after Mania.
See,
I'm
that's why you
like-
stay for. That's why you stay for Raw after Mania. You get moments
my
like that.
God. Amazing.
After them Cody tears, we needed something.
We did need something. John Cena always saves the day. Can we have a John Cena appreciation night? Because he is
Of
one of
course.
the best people in the world.
Especially since he follows me on Twitter. Finally,
Yeah,
Yay.
birthday twin following you. Hey. That's dope. That's dope. He's so nice.
I was
If
happy
I
for
meet him, I might like cry my eyes out.
yeah,
Y'all wouldn't judge me, right?
Okay. Can you just like wish me happy birthday every year? I don't want nothing else. That's it. That's all I want.
Great.
That's it. It's a
We're
hope
gonna
and a
make that
dream.
happen.
It's
We're gonna make that
manifesting.
happen.
Listen, I manifested the
That'll be
following.
an interesting appreciation night for me.
Yeah.
Why you don't like John Cena?
No, I'll save it for them. But remember, I've talked about this here before. He's one of the reasons why I stopped watching wrestling for a while.
Mm.
So we
Okay.
add that to the
So the
list.
appreciation night will be the full circle moment.
You'll be me on Drew
I
Appreciation
appreciate
Night.
that because then not just everyone like we love John Cena, he's so great, which he is. But then we'll get your side of the story because I also hated John Cena as well at one point. I went to shows just to boo. Like I didn't watch the product, but I knew to boo him somehow. I don't know how. But we'll figure out. I don't know if we'll do that next week, but if anyone in our VIP has a topic that they want to talk about next week, it does not have to be a particular wrestler. It could be a pay-per-view. It could be anything wrestling related. We've done our favorite wrestling movies. We've done WWE Network Appreciation Night. So this really is a wrestling fan club where we just talk about a little bit of everything. We get into what's happening currently. And we really, really love doing that with all of you. I want to shout out all of our VIP that always come through and just make the chat so fun. Rakarsha, Dylan, Krista B was in the building, Andre, Black Thoughts, Mike, Matt. We love you guys. If you are joining or listening into TWG Fan Club for the first time, welcome. Make sure you follow those wrestling girls everywhere on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our Patreon. It is a very easy way to support us. It's $1 a month and get exclusive content. And also we stream about 3 times a week now. You got TWG Fan Club on Wednesdays, you got schooling sessions on Fridays, and you got Watch What Happens NXT on Tuesdays. And we might be adding on to that schedule. So please follow us everywhere. Stay tuned. There's always content coming out. Tell your friends about us. Come through. Like, bring them all. We can talk about wrestling and shit like that. Where can everyone find the crew?
You can find me on all social media platforms at It's Justin Rich. You can find me here live Wednesday nights on Those Western Girls Twitch channel, TWG Fan Club, myself, and these 3 beautiful, amazing, intelligent co-hosts of mine. You can find me Tuesday nights, Twitter Spaces, on Black Wrestling's handle for the buckle. Myself, Mimi, and Cord, we talk all things wrestling. You can catch me from time to time on True Hill Heat Sports and True Hill Heat Wrestling. Both of those channels are located on YouTube where we talk sports, wrestling, all that fun stuff. Your boy is popping on Sunday nights to do live reactions to House of the Dragon and chop it up with the boys. Yes, dragons, baby. We here, we outside, we active. Salute to our truth, and always remember, you will go over that top rope, Paul Heyman.
Good one.
Wow. Okay. You can find me at Brian H. Wars on all social media platforms. Make sure you check out this week's episode of Ring of Wrestling Worldwide. Crazy numbers on the TikTok over there, as Cal was not impressed by Uncle Howdy. So some people agreed with him, some people didn't. Also check out, I did not 1 but 2 episodes of Breaking Through Glass Sales, including one with my cousin Chain Wayne Blogs. So that was fun. First time we did a show together. It's in 3 years. So make sure y'all check that out on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/BWaters Productions. And then tonight on the Wrestling Realm Now podcast, we are going to discuss the 2 hottest stories, the Bloodline and the Wyatt Six. So make sure y'all tune into that at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time on the Wrestling Realm.
And as per usual, it's your honorary wrestling girl, Seindole B. Sorry for the hiatus. We have a brand new mic. But besides being here every Wednesday with the 3 best friends that anybody can have on the TWG Fan Club here live on Twitch and on X, you can also catch me on Tuesdays for the hottest pre-show to now return, because we're on 2-week hiatus. The hottest pre-show to ever return to the Twitter Spaces and to X and social media, and so those Wrestling Girls social media, and Watch What Happens NXT. You guys, I've officially locked in for this week's pre-show for the hottest NXT PLE coming out in this X Heat Wave. We know Money in the Bank is coming around the corner, but we got some matches that are soon to be lined up. We just announced a fatal 4-way for the NXT Championship with the youngest OG in Javon Evans. And they've also added the All Ego and Mr. Sean Spears. So can Trick Willie defeat them all? Also, Claudia Jordan has her second title defense going on up against the girl who should have probably been the one to take it all home in the first place, and that's Miss Solo Rocco, was just announced this past NXT, so you know I'm going to dive into that. And of course, we're going to get our live reactions and our feedback. I might even thirst over Obafemi one more time because I can't help myself, but I can't wait to see you guys on Tuesday. At my special guest for the pre-show will be announced coming up soon. I can't wait to see y'all later with my new mic, of course.
Period. That is very exciting. Thank you all for tuning in to another edition of TWG Fan Club, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.